She was one of the most loved women in British history. A queen who lived through 2 world wars, saw huge changes in the world, and touched the hearts of millions. She was admired for her courage, kindness, and strength. People called her a symbol of hope and resilience during some of the darkest times in history. Her name was Elizabeth Angela Marguerite Bowes-Lyon. Elizabeth was born in 1900, the 9th of 10 children, in a noble Scottish family. She grew up at Glamis Castle and spent time learning about life, family, and duty. From an early age, she loved animals, sports, and reading. During World War I, 4 of her brothers served in the army. One brother, Fergus, died in battle, and another, Michael, was captured by the enemy. Elizabeth helped care for wounded soldiers at her home and even helped save the castle from a fire. These early experiences shaped her courage and sense of responsibility. Before becoming part of the royal family, Elizabeth experienced her first love. His name was Charles Gordon Lennox, also called Lord Setrington. They were very close friends, and Elizabeth later called him my only true friend. She said he was the only person she could talk to in a completely natural and simple way. Sadly, Charles died in 1919 from wounds he received while serving in the army. Elizabeth, a spirited young woman, valued her freedom above all. Prince Albert, Bertie, fell in love with her and proposed in 1921, but she refused, afraid of losing herself in royal life. Albert persisted, and by January 1923, Elizabeth agreed to marry him, marking a rare choice of love over tradition. They were engaged with a stunning platinum ring set with a cashmere sapphire and 2 diamonds. On the 26th of April 1923, they married at Westminster Abbey, thoughtful and tender. Elizabeth laid her bouquet at the tomb of the unknown warrior in memory of her brother Fergus. After a wedding breakfast at Buckingham Palace, they honeymooned at Poleston-Lacey in Surrey and then in Scotland, where Elizabeth caught an unromantic bout of whooping cough. Their marriage began as a partnership built on love, courage, and a modern spirit, showing that even in the strict world of royalty, the heart could choose its own path. In 1926, Elizabeth gave birth to their first child, Princess Elizabeth Lilibet, and in 1927 she travelled to Australia without her baby to open Parliament House, charming the public despite missing her child. Their journey included stops in Fiji, New Zealand, and the Pacific, and even survived a fire aboard HMS Renown on the return. Their second daughter, Princess Margaret, was born in 1930 at Glamis Castle. The family initially lived at White Lodge, Richmond Park, before moving to 145 Piccadilly. On the 20th of January 1936, King George V died, and his eldest son Edward became the new king, King Edward VIII. Elizabeth's husband Albert then became the heir presumptive, meaning he was next in line for the throne if Edward did not remain king. But only a few months later, a big problem arose. Edward decided he wanted to marry an American divorcee, Wallis Simpson. The government and the church did not approve of this marriage, and it caused a serious constitutional crisis. In the end, Edward chose to give up the crown. He abdicated, meaning he stepped down as king. On the 11th of December 1936, Albert reluctantly accepted the crown and became King George VI. This also made Elizabeth Queen and Empress. Their coronation ceremony took place on the 12th of May 1937 at Westminster Abbey, the same date originally planned for Edward's coronation. Elizabeth's crown was made of platinum and set with the famous Koh-i-Noor diamond. In 1938, the King and Queen planned to visit France, but they had to delay the trip because Elizabeth's mother died. Since Elizabeth was in mourning and couldn't wear colours, designer Norman Hartnell quickly made her an all-white wardrobe. The visit was meant to show friendship between Britain and France as Nazi. Germany was becoming threatening. The French people liked the King and Queen and praised their behavior and style. During the Second World War, the King and Queen became symbols of Britain's fight against fascism. Soon after the war began, a special charity book called The Queen's Book of the Red Cross was created to raise money. Many writers and artists contributed, and the book featured a portrait of Elizabeth by Cecil Beaton. During the day, the King and Queen worked at Buckingham Palace, but at night they stayed at Windsor Castle with their daughters for safety. Many staff members had joined the army, so most of the palace was closed, and the windows were boarded up because blasts had broken the glass. In the early months of the war, Elizabeth even received revolver training in case of invasion. By early 1952, King George VI Albert was very weak because of his serious health problems. On the 6th of February 1952, he passed away peacefully in his sleep at Sandringham, and that at that moment his daughter Princess Elizabeth, who was in Kenya, became Queen Elizabeth II. After King George VI died, his wife Elizabeth could no longer be called Queen Elizabeth, because her daughter had just become Queen Elizabeth. To avoid confusion, she was given the new title Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Elizabeth passed away on the 30th of March 2002 at 3:15 p.m. in Royal Lodge, Windsor. She was 101 years old, and her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II, was present at her side. She had been dealing with a chest infection since Christmas 2001. At the time she died, she held the record as the oldest member of the British royal family, and she was the first to reach the age of 100. Later, her sister-in-law, Princess Alice, Duchess of Gloucester, lived even longer, reaching 102 before her death in 2004. Elizabeth was known for her warm, friendly, and reassuring personality. She had a calm confidence and a strong sense of duty, which made people feel safe during difficult times. Her kindness, humor, and genuine interest in others made her widely loved. She carried herself with grace and dignity, yet remained approachable and caring. Because of her courage and steady presence, she became a symbol of hope and strength for the nation.